Welcome to today's hearing, which will focus on two recent reports examining fraud in the COVID-19 pandemic lending programs. These contradicting reports, one from the SBA's Office of Inspector General and the other from the Small Business Administration, were released within hours of one another on June 27th. The SBA Inspector General report concluded the SBA disbursed more than $200 billion in potentially fraudulent loans through pandemic relief programs, while the SBA reported the fraud in these programs is closer to $36 billion. This large discrepancy, more than $160 billion, certainly demands answers. And given the drastically different figures in these reports and the lack of an adequate plan to recoup these stolen taxpayer funds, we invited SBA Administrator Guzman to join us here today. But as you can see by her empty seat, she declined the offer. You would think that a report from a nonpartisan watchdog claiming hundreds of billions of dollars were dispersed to criminals through the SBA would warrant her showing up to this committee today, but that obviously isn't the case for Administrator Guzman. During the pandemic, the SBA oversaw an unprecedented amount of lending. Well, there was an understanding that getting money out quickly could lead to higher levels of fraud. Nothing of this magnitude was ever imagined. The OIG report estimates that roughly 1 in 5 loans, I repeat, 1 in 5 loans dispersed through the pandemic programs have been labeled as potentially fraudulent. This after-action report shows the SBA was not up to the task when the American people needed their help the most, and we must have this track record in the back of our minds as the agency looks to take on additional responsibilities. The American people need accountability and transparency, and if a small business account's receivable were as high as the SBA's, they would take all actions possible to get this money back. It belongs to them. Unfortunately, it does not appear that the SBA is taking every action possible to get these stolen funds back from the taxpayers. So we cannot sweep this under the rug or write it off. All this fraud is a loss for the taxpayers' bottom line. So Inspector General Ware, thank you for taking time to join us today, and we look forward to your examination of these reports and their discrepancies. And also the Honorable Guzman is not here, but her chair is there.